Here we go with another Q&A. I'm going to go over some comments and questions, and I'm going to take this apart on here because that was one of the questions on there. So let's get going with this right now. I'm Tom Kovichak, and this is Tom's Trains and Things. This channel was created to help other modelers who are in need of guidance in pursuing their dream of building a model railroad. And while I was on vacation, I got a few comments and questions from my videos, and I got an email before I left that I want to go over with you. But before we get there, if you would like to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And while you're at it, ding that bell so you can be notified when I have a new video coming out, because it's free to subscribe and YouTube doesn't notify you unless you ding that bell notification, which is right next to the subscribe button. So once you subscribe, ding that bell and that'll notify you. And also check out my playlists. You'll see a lot of videos on there pertaining to model railroading and electronics, so check that out. So here we go with the Q&A right now. Before I went on vacation, I got an email. It was around the beginning of August. This was from Geoff Bunza. I don't know if you know who Geoff Bunza is, but he does a lot of model railroading projects with Arduino. He's featured a lot on Model Railroad Hobbyist magazine and web page. He has a lot of articles on there. And let me read the email that he sent me. He said, "Hi Tom, a friend of mine recently pointed me to your YouTube channel, where I also found a pointer to your webpage. I just wanted you to know how much I enjoyed your videos and projects, and of course was thrilled to learn that a small part of what you built was leveraged off of some of my own work. I think your videos are quite clear and interesting. You are an amazing, prolific video producer, and I'm blushing. I hope you have as much fun with all this as I do. Thanks for sharing your knowledge and expertise with so many others. If I can ever be of help to you, please don't hesitate to call. Have fun. Best regards, Geoff Bunza, Portland, Oregon." Now, I was really amazed to get that. I'm really honored to get an email from Dr. Geoff Bunza. Thank you very much for sending me this and having the confidence in me with my Arduino projects. I know a lot of the stuff that I do on Arduino is from you and a couple of other modelers who are a lot better in electronics and programming than I am. And what I do is I just try to help out the modelers, show them how to make it easier for them to understand Arduino and model railroading. So thank you very much, Geoff. This one here isn't a question, it's a comment from a viewer. It's from Dustin Fisher. "Hi Tom, your videos are very helpful and informative. My not-for-profit Train Foundation is starting an after-school hobby program for at-risk, low-income kids in our community, and your videos will be on hand to help guide us to build our first module base layout in our new facility." Well, thank you, Dustin, for including me in your project. I'm going to put the link to his organization, and I'll put the link in the description, and I'll have it down right over here also. But thank you for doing a great job for the kids. I really appreciate it, to help advance the model railroading and help out the less fortunate kids in your community. So thank you very much, Dustin. Now here's a question from Jim Aspen II. Now let me read this off here. "Is it me, or has Atlas removed the software? When I click on the link, it says it has been removed." Now on my original video, Atlas software, quick tutorial on Atlas software, I put a link to it, and that was a free version. But since then, SCARM has gone with a paid version, and there is a different link, and I put that link in my response to Jim when I finally got home and saw what was happening with it. And I'll put that link in the description here, and I'll also go back to my old video quick tutorial on track planning software for Atlas and put the new link in there also. Sometime this year, the developer of SCARM decided to charge for the software. But anyway, it's no longer free. Atlas also charges for it. They have a free demo on there, but like I said, I'll put the link in the description of this video. Okay, here's another one. It's from Tyler Baker. He asked me about, let me see what it is. I've gotten as far as putting in the 4 numbers of the new address, but when I press enter, it flashes 3WR and then NOD. I have no idea what either of those mean, so I'm not sure what to fix. Any help or suggestions would be greatly appreciated. Thanks. Well, what I told him was send me a little bit more information to my email and I'll be able to help you out a little bit better. I'm not sure, you know, what he's trying to program, or what unit he's using, or what DCC system he's using. And this was about 2 weeks ago and he hasn't responded to my email. My email is in the description. It's on my web page. You can see it up on top of the web page. I have it plastered everywhere. So if you want to send me an email, send it, you know, tomstrainsandthings@gmail.com, and I'll be glad to answer you. On my most recent video running new rolling stock, Memnuts, MEMNUTS roads. Tom, would you do a video on repairing the RS3? I had the same thing happen to my Bachman RS3, but have not gotten around to figuring out if it is the decoder or the motor. Okay, well, you know, when I when I did that video, I tried out my RS3 that I had just bought, and it went around my layout a couple of times, not quite 2 times, and when I was pulling up the load going up an incline, it just seemed like it was stalling out. Well, when I took it apart, I found out that the shaft going onto the worm gear came apart, and actually it wasn't very tight to begin with. So what I did after taking it apart, I just pushed it back in. I pushed it back in and then tested it out, pulled it back apart, took the whole thing apart, see if I could make it any better, but it just pushes in, and it's not quite a press fit. It's a snug fit, but not press. So I'm thinking that, you know, if I'm on an incline again, it might slip on the shaft because it's not really tight on there. If it does it again, I'll have to pull it off again, clean it up really good, because there was a lot of grease on the shaft in that area, so I'll have to clean off that area and try to glue it in place instead. I'll show you what I did on here, and then I'll run it around the track once or twice for you to see. In order to get the shell off of here, you have, first of all, you have to take this cover off right here that holds the tanks. Okay, now there's 2 screws right here, boom, right there and right there. That holds the body on, and you have to take the couplers off also. So once you have that, those 5 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the one here, these 2, and 1 on each coupler, then you could separate the body. Let me turn it over this way, and it comes right off like that. Be careful when you're handling this, because what I did was I poked my thumb in that window right there. So when you do that, you have to take this whole cab off to get inside there, because the cab pops off of there. What I found on here is the linkage that goes to the worm gear. This piece right here goes up onto the shaft right here. It came loose. And so I took this whole thing apart. I'm going to put this back on here, right here, and then assemble this back together. This thing popped off of there, and that's why it wasn't going. As you could remember, it was going in reverse, but for some reason it wouldn't go forward. Now, I don't know why just one truck wouldn't drive it unless it slips. So I'm going to put it back on and put this thing back together and see how this does. There's nothing really holding it on except for it's a snug fit. It's not a press fit, it's just a snug fit. So I guess they determined that that was enough to keep it on. Now see the leads right here that pick up the track power right there. They're not soldered onto this board. They fit into these holes right here. and they're held on with clips. Nothing is soldered onto this circuit board as far as this, so it's easy to take off and put back on, which I guess it makes it a little bit easier if you want to pull this apart and work on it. You don't have to do any soldering or desoldering of the wires on here. You just remove the clips and the wires come off. Before I put the cover back on, I'm going to test it, make sure it runs. I've got the power on this already, so I've got it going in forward. So there we go. There we go forward. And now in reverse. Okay, I'm going to show you how this RS3 performs on the layout now, and hopefully it'll go up the grade. If it doesn't go up the grade and it slips on the grade like it did before and come apart, then I'm just going to have to degrease everything in there and super glue the dowel wrench shaft to the metal shaft. So let's see what it does now. Now this is where the locomotive struggled before. Now after I ran it around there and pushed it through, I took a good look at it, and the wheels are still turning on it. So I don't think it's the slipping on there. I just think that it is just not powerful enough to pull 11 cars up a 1.5% grade. Now I don't have any problem with my F7A or any other locomotive. I got some switchers over here that do it. It's just that this thing doesn't seem like it's powerful enough. I'll take it apart again and see what I could do with it to make it perform a little bit better. And that's all we have for right now. We'll have some Ellicott City coming up in the next couple of days, so we'll see you.